welcome back to Trefarr for this end of year update, and as you can see on Trefarr it's very busy. And basically it's very busy because I have basically moved all of my locomotives off the Newton Park Road and put them here while I attempt to tackle my nemesis and take on the wiring on Newton Park Road. Storage diorama. Also you can see lots of wagons and locomotives, even a bridge sitting on top of the workshop there, and that's basically because Newton Park Road is in pieces so that I can actually do the wiring. So what I'm going to do in this video is just show you the wiring that I'm doing. As always, I am not saying this is how you should do it because I am the worst at wiring in the world, so I'm definitely not going to be saying this is how you should do things. I'm just making it up as I go along, and yeah, I'll just show you how I'm doing it, but I am not saying that this is the best way to do things. So wiring is just not my thing, but yeah, I've got this little box that I got from Winners. It's got a 12 volt power supply which will go in the side here, and as you can see out the back comes all the cables from to operate the switches. Side it's like Beirut, lots of wiring, and again I was going to use these switches, just DT double pole double throw switches, to work the points, but I've actually ordered some DCC Concepts Cobalt S levers, so just waiting for those to come and I'll replace these. At the back, trying to keep the wiring consistent, black to black all the way, but this is a split terminal block, so these can pull apart, but also I've got these car connectors here as well. So what this does, this allows me to split these for the exhibition, so I can have them, the cables short or long. Obviously here, as you could see, this is the long, but again, so you know, it's not the best way to do things, I'm sure, but it's how I'm doing it. And then this little box then will sit, you know, somewhere on the back of the layout. The end of these, just the usual spades, but that's really the only place I'm using these, because what I'm actually using, and I'll show you in a second, is these Wago connectors. So I know you could get these are expensive relatively, and I know you can get some cheap Chinese knockoffs, but I've gone with the originals. Very simple in principle. You lift the levers up, you push the wire in, and then you close them, and that connects the wire. So it doesn't make it permanent, so you can unclip, and like I say, you come in all different sizes. These are 2-ways, there's a 5-way, got some 3-way ones in there. These down here are 3-ways as well, again just off Amazon, and it just allows you to join wires, you know, quickly, but also in a way that you can actually just break them apart and redo them, you know, should you make changes to the layout or whatever. Here we can see the Wagos in action. So let's say it's a little bit like Beirut here, but all the reds into one there, all the blacks into one there, and then they come out, the red and black, to, I'm using these for connecting between the boards, the bus between the boards. Again, very simple, just 2 wires. So this end plugs into this end, so all the reds join with all the blacks, snug fit, and then this will go to the next board. As you can see, I'm using tortoise switches, so outside wires, white and black, those go to the box that I just showed you, for power to the actual switch itself. The red and black, these are feeds from the actual track feed, and then the orange wire here, that's for the frog, to because the tortoise switch will actually change the polarity of the frog as it goes. I'm using electric frog ports just to show you in O gauge the distance. I mean, there's the switch for the point, and then under there is actually the distance away for the frog, because they are again down there. That's because these are O gauge and rather long. If you go around to the front, you can see here, so switch machine is pushing this, and the frog is all the way down here. So again, you've got a bit of extra wire. This just shows what I've done here, which is to break the boards up into their constituent parts. So board number 1, this has all been wired underneath, so there's your connector piece, which will connect onto board number 2, which is the one on the floor there. And then I've just got this third board to do, so a couple of point motors, because I've got a point there and a point down there, and then obviously that goes into the traverser. So the key thing here is to line up these tracks and secure these tracks at the end. I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to be using these. So these are Model Tech Pro Track rail aligners, and how this works, as you can see, is you solder the track to these pieces on either side. So this one will go under here, the other one on the other board, and then when they come together, as you can see, that joins very nicely together, which should hopefully keep those tracks aligned, because there are holes here for feeder wires as well, to make sure you've got good electrical connectivity all the way through. So yeah, that's where I'm at with the wiring so far. Like I say, I hate doing the wiring. I really dislike it. I hated it when I did DC, and I hate it even more now that I do DCC. And even though I've kept this one quite simple in terms of it's just 3 boards and 4 switches till I get to the traverser, which I'll do a separate video on what I do with the traverser, but I still find it problematic, and I went crazy on my when I had my HO stuff, and as you can see here, I had block detection and all sorts of stuff, as you can see from this mass of wires here. You know, I had a Digitrax running all the signals. You know, I haven't taken all this out yet, but as you can see, there's just a mass of ribbon cables and wires which I had running all my signals all over the place. So yeah, that's not going to be repeating that, but I still don't like it. And here's my soldering station, so I'm again just soldering all the wires on here. You can get clips for these, and I probably should have done that. I'm don't like soldering particularly, but I can get it done if I need to. The switch here is the other one that's ready to go. Just got to put the actual connecting rod on it. So I'll be lighting these buffer stops as I've done on Trefarr. I got 3 to do down the end. Obviously the sheds are going to be lit. Then on the middle board, which is missing at the moment and standing on its end, that's got the porta cabin and the bothy. They're going to be lit. Obviously the small office that sits there, that's going to be lit. Then I got the wagon works, that's going to be lit. And the other thing I've got planned is to put a signal just in here, a semaphore, which will sit right there, and I'll have that one not attached to the DCC like I've got on Trefarr, but what I'll do is just have a switch on the other side, so that, you know, if we've got 2 people, one operating the traverser and loading trains to bring onto the main board, I'll put a switch on the side, so, you know, for trains coming off and into there, whoever's running the traverser will be able to say, yeah, I'm ready, let the signal off, and then the train will be able to go through that portal back into the traverser. As you can see, I have changed the color of the portal. At this point I did have it red brick before, and it just looked a bit, I don't know, anemic, so I've gone for more of an industrial look with engineer's brick, and I think that looks a bit better. I haven't finished it yet, but as you can see, it's coming together, and I think it looks a bit more in keeping with the layout itself. Following along, you know, I have done some scenic stuff and built the buildings, and really any model railway book will tell you that you need to do the wiring first, but again, that just shows that I've done anything but to try to delay it as long as possible, but now's the time that I've got to get it done over this Christmas period. And I just promised myself that, you know, before the January the 1st I would get everything wired up. So yeah, just got this I'm not so worried about the traverser. I've got time to get that done. I'm still thinking through how best to align those tracks, but yeah, on the rest of it, you know, I'll crack on and hopefully get that finished before I upload this year-end update on the layout. Okay, so we ran a bit of a test, and other than the fact that we've got these big gaps here, these are just pushed together at the moment, and as I said, we're going to put these solder these rail joiners in there, just to get some flux. But from a continuity perspective, just put some crocodile clips on there, and the Gronk, which is sitting in the shed, managed to traverse everything. So just got to get some more red wire now as well, because I've run out of that, just to complete the bus wire, and that'll be it. So it just remains for me to say Happy New Year to you all, and wishing you all a prosperous 2023. Just a case now of tidying up and finishing the electrics, and then we're on to the scenery stuff. Like I said, I'll do a separate video on the traverser when I get to wire that in. So okay, that's it. Speak to you soon. Happy New Year. Cheers.